Welcome to Bird's Eye View. I'm Sam Nunes. One of my favorite things to do as a naturalist is to share with people why nature is so important for us and why we really need it in our lives in order to live happily and healthy. So, without further ado, how nature heals and protects us. All nature lovers know the calming effects of time spent in nature. But what does science say? Well, research has found that about 2 hours a week has beneficial effects for the mind and the body. But not only are they beneficial, it's actually some necessary effects for our physical and cognitive health. Because of all this knowledge that we've been learning, people all around the world have begun a practice called forest bathing, which is not taking a bath in the middle of the woods, but it's simply just spending time in nature. I know the name is forest, but it doesn't have to be a forest. It can be any form of nature that you can find. You'll find even spending time next to a tree in a city or something can help the body. So what are these effects? Let's get into it. The benefits of nature on the body are numerous. A well-known fact is that sunlight activates the production of vitamin D in our fat cells. Vitamin D is an important vitamin for our immune system and our bone health. And actually, most Americans are deficient in this. And you can take a supplement for it, but you make it pretty efficiently. Me personally, I like to get vitamin D from the sun, but I also take a supplement for it. And this is not me advising you to take a supplement. You should talk to a doctor about that. Also, there are chemicals produced in trees called phytoncides, and these are very cool. So the tree produces these chemicals to protect itself from insects, fungi, and bacteria. It's sort of its own form of an immune system. But these same chemicals actually benefit us as well. So they reduce inflammation in the body, which improves cardiovascular health, and they actually promote the production of hunter-killer cells, which is such a cool name, I think. These are real things. Hunter-killer cells that attack cancer cells. So actually, you reduce your risk of cancer, which is very nice. And like I said earlier, you don't need to be submerged in the forest to have these effects. Simply spending time next to any tree will give you these effects. Now, stress is natural. It evolved with us for a reason. But chronic stress wears away at the body over time. This leaves us prone to a weakened immune system and chronic disease. But time in nature reduces the risk of chronic disease and improves the management of it if you have it. Many chronic illnesses in the U.S. relate to inflammation and elevated blood pressure. And luckily, time spent in nature can actually lower the blood pressure to help manage conditions such as type 2 diabetes, heart disease, hypertension. And sunlight has actually been shown to lower cholesterol levels in the blood and reduce the risk of children developing type 1 diabetes later in life. This is because of the production of vitamin D that's activated from the sunlight. And vitamin D improves the immune system and helps protect the body, which makes people less at risk of developing type 1 diabetes, which usually is a autoimmune disease. And they found this out with a study done where they gave children in northern latitudes, so like northern US, they gave them vitamin D supplements, and that those children had less risk of developing type 1 diabetes later in life. And we know that sunlight helps produce vitamin D, so therefore increased contact with sunlight would reduce your risk of developing type 1 diabetes. Now, not only does it have positive effects for our bodies, but time spent in nature also calms the mind. People spending more time in nature report reduced anxiety and improved moods. And so nature helps to lower cortisol levels, and cortisol is the stress hormone. So you're reducing the stress there. And again, you don't need to be fully immersed in nature to have these effects. Even a simple plant in a room can improve your mood. I have plenty of plants in my room, and I love them. Interestingly, hospital patients with a view of trees in recovery had higher pain tolerance, fewer negative effects from procedures, and even a faster recovery time. The idea here is that people are so attracted to the view of nature that it distracts us from our pain. But also, we've found that just simply using our senses helps to calm the body, and nature forces us to use our senses to see, to listen, to feel, to touch, which is the same thing as feel, I realize. And the use of our senses, our body really likes it when we do that. So all of this together helps us to have a better quality of life. So the best thing about the positive effects of nature is that you don't need to be deep in the woods or high up on a mountain to experience the beneficial effects. I want to make that clear to you guys. Even a plant in a room or even a photo of a tree can help calm the bodies and improve our health. We are born of nature, and we need it to survive as an individual and a species. So go out and smell the roses. Thank you for listening.